Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all joining us from around the world. Welcome to our webinar, How to Unlock Growth with RCS Business Messaging. I'm Michael Schachner, Chief Revenue Officer Enterprise at BICS, and I'm delighted to be joined by 𝗘𝗫𝗣𝗟𝗢𝗥𝗘, Product Owner at 𝗪𝗓𝗪𝗧𝗏𝗪. Today, we'll explore how Rich Communication Services, RCS, is not just a new messaging standard, but a transformative channel for customer engagement, brand trust, and above all, business growth. So before we dive into this fascinating topic, let's take a moment to introduce ourselves. So starting with me, where I built my career in the last 25 years in developing services and associated businesses in the field of global communication, in messaging, mobility, and IoT. So those services are now used by hundreds of fixed and mobile networks, hyperscalers, OEM, digital enterprise at large around the world. So I'm working for BICS and Proximus Global. I'm based in Brussels, and today I'm in charge of the European business for enterprise. 𝗘𝗫𝗣𝗟𝗢𝗥𝗘, would you like to introduce yourself?
Thank you, Michael. Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to you. My name is 𝗘𝗫𝗣𝗟𝗢𝗥𝗘. I'm the product owner of RCS at 𝗪𝗓𝗪𝗧𝗏 and now a part of Proximus Global. And working with 𝗪𝗓𝗪𝗧𝗏 for more than 6 years now, and have been a part of 𝗖𝗢𝗡 industry for quite some time now. Pleasure to know you all, and happy to explore this webinar with you all. Over to you, Michael.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you, 𝗘𝗫𝗣𝗟𝗢𝗥𝗘. So now let's frame today's discussion. So mobile messaging has been there for a very long time, more than 30 years with SMS. And we are basically now at a major crossroads. So we see mobile operators, OEM, and brands across the world embracing finally RCS natively into their devices and their application. And all of that to really provide a richer messaging service to billions of users seamlessly. So this is holding the promises to provide enhanced engagement between brands and user, as well as a more robust and secure experience than what we are seeing today on other messaging environments. So here is what we will cover in the next 15 minutes or so. So we'll begin with introduction and a quick overview of Proximus Global. We'll dive into the review of all the RCS unique capabilities and key benefits. And we'll walk also through some real-world use case, as we have already many brands and companies who have embraced RCS. So we'll find out what they learned from it on those key use cases. And then we will provide also an overview of how the RCS platform is working and can be used to launch campaigns. Finally, we'll finish also with a Q&A session, so I can invite you to ask your question, and we will answer them at the end of the session. So a little bit about Proximus Global. So we are a unified force of 3 brands, BICS, Telesign, and 𝗪𝗓𝗪𝗧𝗏. And we are all working together to connect, protect, and engage users across the globe. So BICS is the world leader in enabling international voice, messaging, and data communication. Telesign is a leader in digital identity, securing digital enterprises and the user. And also 𝗪𝗓𝗪𝗧𝗏 is a global communication platform as a service, a leader in Asia and expanding worldwide. Overall, we serve over 5 billion subscribers across 1,000 destinations, and we are basically enabling more than 180 billion transactions on an annual basis. So we have an omnichannel CPaaS platform that can support all the regular channel, SMS, WhatsApp, email, RCS, obviously, and chatbots. And this is allowing enterprise to connect, engage, and protect their customer at every touch point of the customer journey. So you will see here some of the key verticals where we are active, and also some key references. So in mobile, we connect more than 450 mobile operators directly on our infrastructure. We are also serving the largest e-commerce and public cloud players, also the largest digital platform, and also very active in mobility and travel industry, in retail and financial institution. So now let's really dive into the topic of our webinar and find out what stands behind rich communication services. So overall, RCS business messaging basically transform the whole messaging experience into something which is very rich, where you can add picture, video, and also interaction with the user in real time. So it's very, let's say, seamlessly used by user as being native into the device. So they don't need to download and install additional application. One of the beauty of RCS as well is that all the brands that are communicating on these channels are validated, and this is really increasing the trust and the security in the ecosystem. So you can really make sure that overall the user will enjoy a rich experience without any spam or let's say nuisance that you can find sometimes in other channels. So overall, we see also that we can get a lot of benefits when we introduce RCS. So with the, let's say, the initial findings, we found out, for instance, that when brands were doing marketing campaigns on RCS, they could experience a much higher conversion rates than with SMS. So we saw 140% increase in conversion. Also for the user who experience RCS communication with their brands, they let's say in vast majority prefer sticking to RCS than engaging on other means of communication. So, I mean, we can definitely see a high adoption once users really enjoy RCS. And then if you look at, let's say, the most used communication channels being emails, we see an increase of 35x read rate versus emails. And also a pretty high return on investment than other conversion channels, so with a 6-fold increase. So overall, a way to really to boost your business and have richer and, let's say, increased communication and interaction with the end user. So now that RCS has been introduced, let's discover more insight on its capability. So Diksha, the floor is yours.
So when you talk about RCS business messages, typically what happens is that in the native SMS application itself, you would now see, you've started seeing this richer messages with branding, with logo, with multimedia messages, so on and so forth, receiving on the same inbox. So you don't really need to download another application such as WhatsApp, Viber, etc., which you typically have to do with the other OTT channels. In the same SMS inbox, I have now started to receive an upgraded SMS 2.0 version of it. That's what we actually are calling as RCS. So on the left-hand side, if you see, it's your basic vanilla SMS, and it has a sender with a numeric 6-digit, and I'm not quite sure from which brand basically I'm receiving these messages. And it has, basic 160-character SMS message that I'm receiving from this particular brand. However, when you see on the right-hand side, you see a photo of the brand, you see what the brand name is, plus you start receiving multimedia messages from them, a lot of button-based capabilities where it makes it very easy for me to interact with the brand, question a brand, get my queries resolved over the same handle itself. All of this is possible in RCS messages. Now, the different types of message content that is available on RCS is basic message. So this is nothing but how your message pricing is categorized. It's basic message, which is nothing but your SMS-like equivalent of 160-character text messages. And That's called as your basic message. Next comes your richer message, which is anything that is more than 160 character text message or has button-based capabilities or has multimedia component added to it. It's called as rich messaging. The third element comes to it is conversations. So just like other OTT channels, even RCS provides you the power and capability of P2A interactions, and which is where, let's say, if you send a notification, a brand sends a notification to the customer, and the customer wants to get a query resolved with that particular brand, they can converse with the brand within the same RCS handle, and they can get their query resolved in the same RCS handle. Now, all of this is possible in just one umbrella, and it's called as a conversational model, billing model that that RCS ecosystem has accepted. Some feature functionalities of RCS messages are quick reply sort of a button. So a particular RCS messages can add up till 10 beautiful button-based capabilities. And there are different types of buttons, like suggested replies, which is nothing but a text-based button. Then comes suggested action. So let's say if you want to get redirected onto probably a location-based capability, or you want to add a particular, you want to add it to your calendar-based capabilities, all of that is possible within RCS messaging ecosystem itself. Another option that RCS provides is a URL redirection sort of a messaging. So let's say if you want to go to your Play Store app, if as a brand you would want to promote your app, you can give a capability of URL redirection to your Play Store app. And then just from that button click, you'd be able to get into the Play Store, and the end customer would be able to download your app as well. All of this is possible within RCS ecosystem only. There are other capabilities like video sharing. So let's say if you want to educate about your customers about new offering, you would want to talk about videos that you've created about the product. You can share that with your end customers. You can not only do that, you can also give button-based capabilities, like if you want a user to book a particular ticket, know more, etc. You can give button-based capabilities along with a multimedia message, and that's what we call as a rich card. A combination of 2 to 10 rich card is called as a carousel. So if you want to talk about a catalog like a product, where you want to talk about multiple product line items, and then you would probably want the user, you would nudge the user to say buy now, or maybe if you're talking about new store locations, you would want to add get direction sort of a button, which can redirect onto your Google Map like an environment. That is basically possible within carousel based messaging. Not only that, if let's say as a brand, you would want to send an invoice to your customer, you can definitely do that using PDF sharing sort of a capability as well. Now, basically, what are the different digital touch points where you can initiate a chat and get an entry into RCS? That's what we are talking about in this particular presentation. Now, on your website, you'd definitely be able to get messages. You can add a small, there is a deep link provided by the brand, and you can add those deep links onto your website. The user can click on that deep link and will get redirected to your RCS chat. So that's sort of, that's like an entry point which the brands can explore. Or maybe within your mobile application as well, you could give a deep link of chat with us on RCS, something like that, and the user clicks on it. You can get redirected onto RCS chat. Or maybe in your social media or YouTubes, you could provide again this deep link, and from there, your end users will be able to move into RCS ecosystem. So these are different digital touch points that a brand can explore. Now, let's see what are the different journeys you can create across different touch points. Now, talking about where all, what are the different touch points? Basically, there are different touch points for discovery. So you can talk about, different touch points, and you can target your promotions, your offers, your exclusive benefits that you can give to your customers. And then once you've spoken about what all offerings do you have, You could engage with the customers by giving them recommendations. So let's say I went to a store, I saw that, okay, I'm interested on probably an online store where I'm interested in buying a TV. You could give me a recommendation. The brand could give me a recommendation in terms of different TV options, smartphone TV, smart TV, 4K TV, etc., etc. And from there, I could actually sell a particular TV onto RCS environment itself by giving them button-based capabilities like buy now, this buy now or pay now sort of an option, where we can implement the pay button where your credit card, debit card, your payment gateway could be linked with this particular button. You click on it, you complete your payment transaction, and then not only that, you would also get a feedback message, a thank you message with your invoice, and a feedback message which says, okay, can you help us understand how was your customer journey with us? Was your buying process very smooth? What rating would you like to give us from, let's say, 5-star to 1-star, etc. And that's how you could actively interact or give customer support sort of a capability to your customers post-purchase. And once the purchase is done, you would want to, sort of re-engage with the customer or retain the customer. So you could talk about the loyalty programs. You could notify about anything that is added to the cart. Then you would want to, re-trigger the messages about those abandoned cart. You would want to nudge them to buy those products. Or you could also only talk about just loyalty programs and how they could redeem those loyalty programs as well. Moving on to some use cases that are enabled. A very beautiful use case with a new unique feature that RCS has rolled out is web view sort of a capability. And how the brands are adopting this is basically, let's say if I'm sending a payment notification to a user, I'm a brand, I'm sending a utility message to a user where probably it could be like pay your electricity bill, or it could be on insurance related messages where I would want to renew my insurance. What I typically do as a brand is that I send this payment button as well, which says pay now. It can open different payment gateway applications. For India, there are payment gateway applications like PhonePe. For other countries, it could be Stripe. It could be other payment gateways, PayU, etc., which can offer you to make the payment it basically gets redirected onto their website. But with this web view like feature, what it typically does is it opens in-app. So within the RCS wireframe, you'll be able to open this payment gateway page, complete the payment journey, and as soon as you've completed the payment journey, you'd be redirected back onto RCS page only, where you would receive a thank you message, a payment confirmation message, and let's say if the brand is sending an invoice, then you would definitely receive the receipt and invoice as well on the same RCS inbox. So no need to move from one page to another page and then come back to another channel. All of this is now seamlessly taken care of within RCS journey itself. Some e-commerce use case we've spoken about already in the past, buying your product online. You can also send within a hospital industry, you would also send use cases like appointment reminders. And let's say if a patient has already booked an appointment with a doctor, you can reschedule that appointment as well. And all of this can be handled within the RCS environment itself. Now, enough about the use cases that can be implemented. I would like to talk about the platform capabilities that Proximus Global will be able to provide to you. Starting with the analytics dashboard, we'll be able to give you a GUI where you'll be able to understand what is the insights in terms of number of messages sent, submitted, delivered, what was the click-through rate, what was the engagement rate. And let's say if the message was failed, if you choose to fall back the message on a different channel, what were the number of messages that were fallen back to different channels, so on and so forth. Even we will be able to give you user level based statistics where you could calculate what is the active monthly user, so on and so forth. We also provide a campaign management dashboard where you would actually be able to draft your campaign and trigger those campaigns to your end users. And not only that, you'll also be able to manage your campaigns that, like, let's say if a campaign is scheduled for a later point in time, you would want to pause the campaign or reschedule the campaign, or maybe, the campaign has already gone and you would want to stop the campaign altogether. All of these capabilities are possible within the campaign management section of the GUI. Not only that, if you would want to also track the performance of your campaign, you'd be able to do that from the GUI itself. Another important and beautiful section which we see that a lot of countries adopting and asking for is how are we managing the opt-ins and opt-outs? Because any opt-in that is taken for SMS can be extended to RCS as well, because it lands in the same native inbox. But there are a lot of brands who are collecting consent from different sources and channels. Let's say someone is collecting opt-ins for RCS from email as a channel. What we typically do is on the email, the HTML page that goes out to the customer says, I would want to receive notifications on RCS channel. They click on that opt-in button, and there at the back end, there is an opt-in API that is integrated onto that email, which comes and hits to this opt-in platform, and we'll be able to store that, okay, this opt-in received for a particular brand from a particular phone number via channel email, and what was the timestamp at which we received this particular opt-in. We'll be able to track all of that onto this opt-in dashboard itself. Not only that, let's say if the user says stop on your RCS handle, we'd also be able to capture this information and store it in our opt-out management table. And we'll also be able to, populate a thank you message saying that, okay, we are sorry to see you leave, but if at any given point in time you would want to start receiving messages again, then send start. So this sort of a capability is also available with us. Not only that, a lot of our times we have seen that there are a lot of phone numbers where the brand doesn't want to send any messages to those phone numbers. But let's say the campaign manager did not, the person who's running the campaigns did not know that, okay, they have to remove this particular phone number from the file that they are uploading for the campaign. Then it's not an issue. We are providing a capability of allow list and block list, where let's say if there are these set of phone numbers who you do not want to send messages from your brand, you can just go and upload those list of phone numbers onto the system, and we will take care of that, and we'll ensure that the messages do not get delivered to those numbers. Let's say in future point in time, if you would want to send the phone numbers, those messages, you can put them in the allow list, and we will remove it. We'll ensure that the messages are terminated to those end users. Some reporting elements, you'd be able to see summary messages, you'd be able to create a report, and you'd be able to pull the detailed CDR reports as well, and you'll be able to track how the customer or that particular campaign performed. We also have functionality of capability check. Basically, what happens in case of RCS is that the adoption of RCS is limited to Android user base in a lot of countries. In certain countries, iOS has released that iOS has supported RCS messages as well. But again, in a lot of countries, iOS has not supported RCS. So in this case, we have a functionality where you'd be able to upload the phone numbers, and as an output, we'll be able to let you know, okay, out of 100 phone numbers, probably 60 phone numbers are RCS enabled. And then as a brand, you can take action to only trigger RCS-based messages to these 60 phone numbers. And probably you would want to, for the other remaining 40 phone numbers, you would want to trigger messages on some other channel. So these sort of logic can be taken based on the capability check functionality. So you could either do it in bulk, or you can let our system do it for you. And then if you decide to choose any fallback channel, then definitely you can integrate the APIs, and based on capability check, you would also be able to do a fallback to different channels also. Now, template management is a concept where, let's say, if you have already, there's a message content that probably you are floating across your customers, let's say every week, but you would not want to actually, during the campaigns, create a draft of all of that message content. Then what you do as a brand is that you go on the template management section, you create a template, it gets auto approved onto the environment. And once it is auto approved, you can, whenever you want to trigger a campaign using that particular template, you would definitely be able to select the template name and you can trigger the message to the end users. Now, the template management system supports both personalization as well as generalization. It again depends on the type of template that you're creating as a brand. Now, in certain countries, whenever there is a process of getting your sender created and added and approved, while all of that happens, you would want to probably test whether what is the look and feel of RCS messages, or as a brand, probably my whole journey of integrations would take quite some time. So to just save on time, while the operators approve your sender, parallelly as brands, you can integrate and test by using this functionality of Maker Tester. So you add a specific phone number where you would want to trigger the test messages, and seamlessly you will be able to test the integrations using this capability. Now, another beautiful use case that we've implemented is basically we've implemented ticket booking journey over RCS. It's a P2A conversation. So if you go to a metro, you'll see a kiosk. On the kiosk, you will have the QR code placed. You scan the QR code, you'd get redirected to RCS handle. Once you get redirected to RCS handle, a chatbot gets invoked where your ticket buying journey is invoked. You select book the ticket now, you complete your payment there, and then in there you get a QR code which will help you punch in into while you're trying to board your metro station. So that's the whole ticket buying journey, which we've implemented onto RCS as a channel. There are many more use cases of P2A conversations, but to let you know that P2A conversations is something that's very much possible in RCS messaging as well. And not only that, Google has also released a new feature wherein it's called as search to RCS. So let's say on the Google search, if you look for Root Mobile customer care, you'd be able to see an RCS button which says chat with live agent. Now, this is something which is a beta feature of Google. It's not been released completely, so it's handpicked for certain set of customers who want to enable only the use case of customer care. So let's say if you look for this, and there is a button, chat with live agent. You click on the chat with live agent, it gets redirected onto your RCS handle. And once it is redirected onto your RCS handle, a customer care solution could be enabled here, where there is a live agent sitting behind and responding to the query that is being raised by the customer. Now, we have enabled this journey by a chatbot flow builder, which is again an in-house product that we have, and it's deeply integrated with RCS as well. It has AI ML capabilities, and it also has NLP automations available with them. Now, this product is called as Robot. It's a no-code chatbot flow builder. So it's just a drag and drop flow builder where you'd be able to build your DIY journey. You'd be able to integrate the APIs as well in the system. And not only that, it can seamlessly hand over the conversation from your bot to a live agent as well. So it's deeply integrated with our live agent application as well, where we have capabilities like we have a supervisor who can, sort of look into all the agents assigned or tagged to him. Excuse me. And in addition to that, there is an agent login as well, where the agent can go choose the channel where they want to chat, and they'll be able to respond to customer queries as well. There are a lot of feature functionalities of robot in itself, and I think we can definitely take a demonstration for you if you're interested in the product. However, keeping this conversation to just RCS, I would love to take you through a quick view of how our dashboard looks like. Now, we've seen that there are so many things, there are so many capabilities that RCS can provide, which is what is matching with all the other OTT channels. They are also providing the same feature capabilities. But mind you, because this is deeply coupled with the operator infrastructure, there are a lot of advantages that we see with RCS as a channel in itself. You see verified sender, you see business branding, you can send rich message content. You can also have two-way conversation enabled. Not only that, the beauty of this is that with the capability check, if a particular phone number is not available onto RCS as a channel, you can, as a brand, you can decide if you want to fall back the message to SMS or to any other channel. And not only that, you in all the other OTT applications, you would not find interlinking or cross ecosystem consumption, but it's only RCS where you'd also from RCS message, you'll be able to redirect to Google Maps, you'll be able to redirect to Google Calendars, or you'll be able to redirect to Google payment systems, and it's all natively done in RCS ecosystem itself. There are different multiple entry points. You can embed your QR code or your deep link onto different environments, and you can get the entry points. Not only that, RCS is one of the first channels where we had started receiving CTR capabilities. We've seen that there has been a higher read rates. The reason for that is basically SMS has always been considered for transactional cases, and whenever I receive a message on WhatsApp, I may end up ignoring it. But when I receive a message on SMS, I would end up opening it. So the read rate has always been higher on RCS. And that's the whole bundle that RCS provides to us. And we are seeing that there's been a good adoption in RCS these days as compared to other OTT channels. So I'll take a pause here and I'll take you through our dashboard. Just give me a second to log in into the system. This is the look and feel of our application. And as I had promised to you or showed you in the presentation, we have an analytics dashboard where you'll be able to see the analytics of number of messages sent, submitted, failed, read, etc., with all the other trend analysis and the user analysis. Plus, we have a campaign management tool where you can send the messages as a general message, or you can personalize your message and you can trigger the campaign to the user. Once the campaign is triggered, you'd be able to see the analytics of each of the campaigns. You can work on the functionalities like resume a campaign, pause a campaign, resume a campaign, reschedule a campaign, or if you want to resend the campaign, you can resend the campaign. Or if you want to generate a report, you could generate a report from this dashboard. Please ignore the stats on this dashboard because this is just a demo environment, and probably the numbers are just for demonstration purpose. We also have opt-in dashboard where you'd be able to see all the opted-in database. Your reporting sections where you'll be able to create the report. You'll be able to see the summary report. You'll also be able to see, let's say, if you've triggered a message, you'll be able to see what are the logs here. So these are the numbers that the messages that have been triggered, whether they are sent, submit, delivered, failed, etc. And in case if I have a template created and I'm triggering those templates, then in that case, what is the count of the template, how frequently that template was used for triggering campaigns, so on and so forth. And moving on to the allow list and block list. If you have already, you can pull the reports where you'd be able to see how many numbers are in your block list as of today. And then we have template-based capabilities as well, where you can create different types of templates. Once a template is created, you would see the status of the template. You can copy the template. You can view the template. Because the templates are approved, you don't have the capability of editing it, but you can clone a particular template. So if you want to make edits to your templates, you can definitely do that. In case if you are you don't need this sort of template again, you can delete a particular template as well. Bulk, in case of bulk capability check, you can upload the phone number file, and once you've uploaded the phone number file, it will give you a response in terms of how many phone numbers are capable, and then you can use that phone number database to do a campaign again. Sorry, I don't have a data to show you here, but that's what the functionality of bulk capability check, that's how it looks like. Plus make a tester. So you go into an agent and then you see how many phone numbers are added as a tester. And that's some feature functionalities. We also have capability of creating a child user. So let's say as an organization, you have probably you would want to use this dashboard across different functions like marketing and HR and probably finance. Marketing would want to do a campaigns for their team. Finance would want to do campaign for their team. HR would want to do campaign for their team. Not an issue. You can come here, you can create a child user, and each of these users would get their user credentials, which they can use to log in into the application, and they'll be able to send messages, trigger campaigns, etc. And they'll be able to view the reporting of only the campaigns that they have done. So we have this parent-child user creation functionality as well. And then we have Knowledge Hub, which is where you'll be able to see the user manual or user guide of this application. Enough about this application. I would also want to take you through the Live Agent platform. I'll just stop sharing my screen. I'll log in into the application and I'll restart sharing the screen. So just allow me a moment. Okay, back again. So this is how the Live Agent application looks like. You'd be able to see the statistics of number of messages, number of active chats, number of connected chats, abandoned chat, etc. You'd be able to see, I've logged in into the supervisor application where I'm able to see all the chat done by all the agents that are allocated to me. I will also be able to see agent-wise chats, whether each of the agents are online or offline, and what are the chats for the first agent, what were the chats that they had taken care of. Again, if you have to create any templates, again, some templates, like let's say if a user says hi, there is a standard welcome message that you would want to trigger to that user. You as an agent, you can create your standard welcome message, or a supervisor can create a standard welcome message that can be used across all agents. And then there are some configurations that can be done. I would not want to get into the details of each of this. If you have, if you're interested to get a live demonstration of this application or any of our products, please feel free to reach out to us and we will arrange for a demonstration with you guys. Now, going back to the presentation, I would say that Proximus Global brings in huge advantages when it comes to RCS. We are already a part of Google, GSMA, MEF, and we are a strategic partner with them. We have brought in more than 40 plus brands live onto RCS environment with different use cases, BFSI, e-commerce, retail, healthcare, etc. Not only that, we are strategically tied up with a lot of OEMs to get direct connectivity with them. And not only that, we've also partnered with a lot of third parties so that we ensure that we are able to give you connectivity across the globe. And we have a unified API. What unified API basically does is that you just have to trigger our single API, and in turn, it would automatically take care of the routing as to whether it has to go to US, whether it has to go to Belgium, whether it has to go to India. We will take care of that. You do not need to worry. All you have to do is integrate with our single unified API. And just to let you know, we've processed the highest number of messages, that is around 1.3 billion RCS messages globally. So that's a shout out for us. And that's what we would like to cover today in RCS. Over to you, Mikhail, in case if we have any questions.
Thank you,
Please feel
𝗘𝗫𝗣𝗟𝗡.
free
Thank you.
to put it in the chat.
It was really extensive. So thank you for sharing all your insight on RCS and also performing a live demo of our RCS platform. So indeed, we receive already some questions. So for other participants, please don't hesitate still to add additional ones on the Q&A button. So first one for you, 𝗘𝗫𝗣𝗟𝗡. So if a customer sends an opt-out request, will it be applicable for all his RCS message, or will it be treated only for the respective brand?
If a user has sent opt-out for a particular sender, so in RCS, we onboard a brand as a sender. So if a person has opted out on a particular sender, then your opt-out will be considered only for that particular sender and not across all throughout the brand or other brands. So it's very specific to sender. Now, a brand can have multiple senders where you have one transactional type of a sender, you have a promotional type of a sender, you have an OTP type of a sender. So typically it's per sender and not across the brand or across the whole environment.
Yeah, very clear, 𝗘𝗫𝗣𝗟𝗡. So another one, so we talk a lot about the functionalities, but what about the cost? So how RCS compare to traditional SMS?
In a lot of countries, we've seen that RCS is way more cheaper as compared to SMS. But if you actually compare RCS prices, barely a little more than SMS in most of the countries. And also, if you compare it to other OTT channels, RCS is way more cheaper as compared to other OTT channels. If you want to get more details, I would request you to reach out to our sales team and they'll be able to take up your questions on commercials.
Yeah, so there was a question linked to that also on the cost policy. So once you engage with a user on a conversation and there is a first engagement, will there be, let's say, additional cost for every message within that conversation?
Okay, very good question. So what happens in case of conversation is, let's say if an end user says hi, and after that, the brand replies back to them. From the point the brand replies back to them, a 24-hour window gets initiated. Within this 24-hour window, there is only one cost that is charged to the brand, and it's called as one conversational charge.
Okay, very clear.
After the 24-hour window, again, if the user says hi and the brand replies back, a new window gets initiated.
Yeah, so it's really as many conversation message as you want in windows of 24 hours. So very clear.
Yes,
so
that's right.
A more practical one, RCS is today available to billions of users, but still many don't have RCS enabled on their phone. So how will let's say the brand knows that the user can receive RCS message, and will there be a backup to SMS?
Right. So if you would have seen my presentation and if you would have seen the capability on the dashboard, we had spoken about something called as capability check. Now, this is exactly the function that helps you understand whether a particular phone number is enabled onto RCS environment or not. And if the phone number is not available on RCS environment, as a brand, you can choose whether you want to follow it back to SMS or you want to follow it back to other channels as well. So that capability check is a key element which helps you decide.
Very clear. 𝗘𝗫𝗣𝗟𝗡, so you showed us also all the reporting capability. So one of the viewer was asking whether this, let's say, all those reports and all those insights can be also downloaded or exchanged through APIs.
Very good question. We can definitely help you with the APIs as well, but we'd like to understand better in terms of what is the exact requirement, and we'll be able to help you with the answer, because most of these, the element of DLRs is something that we forward to you on your callback as well. So you'd also be able to, sort of create your own analytics view at your end, because a lot of different brands have different analytics CTR criterias or analytic criterias. Based on that, they create their own reporting. So we'd like to understand your requirement, and we can come back to you with the APIs that we can help you with.
There is a very, very good question as well regarding the initiation of the conversation. So whether a brand can initiate a conversation with a client and not in bulk, as this is not available on WhatsApp, where the client really need to initiate the chat session.
Okay. It's not necessary. You can send notifications also to your customer, just like SMS. Let's say if I go to a bank, I withdraw money, I get one message on my SMS inbox saying that you've withdrawn XYZ amount and your balance is ABC. Likewise, the same message can be now received on RCS message as well as a notification to the user. So that sort of a capability is possible on RCS.
Yeah, definitely. So RCS is much more powerful in terms of P2A, but also A2P capabilities. So it's really, let's say, much powerful, most likely, than other messaging or, let's say, yeah, OTT application. So
yes, that's right.
Yeah, there was a question also regarding the experience in the US. So which carriers are today supporting RCS?
Oh, there are a lot of carriers in the US who are supporting RCS, AT&T, and others. I would request you to reach out to our sales team, and we can give you a detail of which connectivity is available with us. And I think you can take the discussion forward from there.
Yeah, very clear. So indeed, I mean, RCS is already available in the US, and let's say we release on a, let's say, monthly basis a coverage list. As I mean, the situation is very dynamic, and mobile operators are embracing RCS all the time and continuously. So maybe a more generic question. How optimistic are you that RCS can become a major channel for agentic AI application?
RCS can become it can become a very good tool, because Google in itself is venturing into its own AI mechanism, and what they are doing is they are tightly coupling RCS environment. They call it as Vertex AI. We are tightly coupling it with the Google ecosystem as well. So definitely, I see that power of AI can be, well bundled with RCS like ecosystem as well, and it's definitely going to be a very powerful tool in the future.
And maybe one last question on the cost. So whether there is a difference between the marketing messages and the service messages.
Right. As of today, there is no bifurcation on marketing or utility or OTP type of message. The pricing category in RCS for each of these senders are on the number of messages, the type of message that you're sending to a user. So the type of messages are text-based message or a rich message or conversations. So commercial model is majorly these. There are certain countries like Germany, where probably you have monthly active user based concept only for sending your newsletters or subscription sort of messages. So that's the only difference. But majorly, irrespective of which sender you create, whether it's a promotional sender or whether it's a transactional sender, your billing model is your text-based message, your rich-based message, and conversation-based message.
Thank you, Diksha. So we receive a lot of questions. I mean, so due to time, we won't be able to answer them all, but we will do follow them with each of the sender by email. So we are now coming to the end of this webinar. So as we wrap up, I'd like to reflect on a few takeaways that we learned today. So basically, the messaging landscape has evolved dramatically, and RCS really stand out with its ability to deliver branded, rich media experience natively and instantly, far beyond what email or other mobile apps can offer. And nowadays, we'll see already, I mean, billions of users embracing it, and soon over 3.6 billion actually users will enjoy RCS, and it will not stop there, of course. So overall, RCS has a lot of key benefits. So it's branded, it's interactive, it's secure, it supports rich content, one-tap instant reply, also web view, and also URL can be embedded into all the messaging flow. So messages are also delivered through a very secure carrier-grade environment, regulated, which enable trust and safety for the brands and the end user. So overall, a lot of very tangible business benefits have been already experienced by the brands who already started, let's say, interacting with their user on RCS. So we saw increased acquisition, high conversion rate, better engagement, and a lot of, let's say, additional benefits thanks to, let's say, unlimited personalization possibilities and use case that you can think about. So if you'd like to go deeper and launch your first RCS campaign, well, we encourage you to get in touch with the Proximus Global team. So you can scan the QR code here on the screen, and we would love to continue the conversation and explore all the possibilities that RCS can unlock for you. So with that, I'd like to give a warm thank you to our expert, 𝗘𝗫𝗣𝗟𝗢𝗥𝗘, who gave us a lot of insight on RCS and its capabilities, and also how it could help accelerating the growth of your business. So I'd like also to thank our marketing team for organizing this webinar, and all of you for watching it, obviously. So I hope you found it insightful and inspiring. And until next time, stay connected, stay engaged, and please don't hesitate to reach us if you want to know more.